Good morning. Welcome to Universal Furniture. We're almost there. Um, Welcome to the Learning Center. My name is Neil McKenzie. I'm Vice President of Marketing here at Universal, and we appreciate you guys coming in on a Tuesday. I don't know if this is day 3, 4, 5, or 6 for you here at High Point, but we hope you are enjoying your High Point market. And we have a ton to offer here at Universal. If you've not been in the building, I highly encourage you to check it all out. We have a new collection on floor 3 with Aaron Valencic. Floor 2, we have some in-stock looks with Coastal Living and Miranda Kerr. On the first floor, you'll find our special order offering, which is now shipping in 8 to 10 weeks. And we also have a new collection called Nostalgia. And then there's also the Designer's Lounge, which you can check out. There's some fun goodies in there. If you want to explore any that the showroom has to offer, I just ask that you check in at the front desk afterwards, and they'll be happy to connect you with someone or also provide you with these little scanners that we have. Everything in the showroom is tagged, allowing you to scan, create a wish list, and have that emailed to you after leaving. So it's just a much easier way to remember what did I see where and how much did it cost. So we're very excited to have Sharon here today. And I think the topic for a Tuesday is a good one. So, yeah, we appreciate you coming, and I'll let you take it away. So thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, High Point Market, right? For those of you who are wondering if I am the same person that is on the placard outside, yes, I am. When I was here last time, it was the spring. I have very big hair when it gets humid, so I decided I would straighten my hair this way. So it's this week, so instead of having a massive bad hair event, it might only be a few moments, so I'm sorry if I've thrown anybody. It's also like 6 inches longer than it used to be, so I don't quite know what to do with it. But anyway, good morning, everybody. I'm really happy that you guys are here. We're going to have a really good conversation. If you want to ask me questions, absolutely feel free, but I am very ADD, so if I get sidetracked by a question, hopefully you will just point to the screen and remind me to get back on track, okay? Because that's going to be really, really important. So just before I start, how many of you are business owner employers? Okay. How many of you are employees? Business owners, close your eyes. How many of you are working for somebody that you may or may not be sitting with and you want to be an employer? Nobody. How about just be self-employed? Anybody interested in being? There you go. It took me 20 years before I became self-employed, so it's never too late to start. All right, so here we are. We're contract clauses. I have like a lot of things going on here. I've got glasses. I've got a mic. I've got this clicker. The poor man doing the video is like, stop moving. So I'm going to try and go through this and keep everybody okay. Am I still? Yes, I am. So here we are, contract clauses. There is an IDCEC number on here if you do need credits, especially for half of New Jersey is here. If you're a member of IDCEC, I'll get to what that is in a second. But this is the code. My lovely assistant, Cynthia, who I just met today, and you should all say hello to, she has the QR code. So if you have the app, I strongly suggest that you use the app, take a picture of that, you'll automatically get credit. If you're having problems with that, then just let me know, and you can email me later on, and I'm going to sit down so that it's easier for this gentleman to keep track of where I am, and I can try to figure out how to log that in for you. So we are here, contract clauses, how to protect your business from downside risk. Whether you are an employer or an employee, this is super important because you may be working for somebody and come across something that may or may not be in your employer's contract. It's really important to protect them and you. IDCEC I talked about. So this is International Design Continuing Education Council. In New Jersey, and if I talk too fast because I am from outside of Manhattan, just tell me, just go. IDCEC in New Jersey, we need to be licensed. Can you see, sweetheart? If you want me to get out of the way, you say I can stand in the corner and still talk. Because I want you to see the slides because they're really important. So it's the perfect way if you need to keep track of credits to be able to keep whatever you have needed credits for. I'm an NKBA certified kitchen designer. I need continuing ed credits. To keep my license in New Jersey and my professional standing with ASID, I need CEU credits. So IDEC is great for CEU credits, and that is what they're all about. All right, you can scan it. If you don't have access to the mobile app, provide your IDEC number to the provider, and I will get a certificate to you. And if you don't have your IDCEC number, you can get one just with the completion of this telecast. Just kidding. All right, NKBA approved. So Who am I? That's who I am, right? I have a degree in interior design. I'm one of the not unusual people that actually went to interior design as a first career. I graduated a really long time ago before there were FIDA accreditations and things like that. I started my career in the 80s, and I really did work high-end, high-rise, and multifamily unit developments. And I was started as a design assistant. How many of you were design assistants? Anybody? Good. That's how I started, right? I was picking up samples and carrying things around and answering the phone and unfortunately making coffee because it was the 80s and I lived through Me Too. 18 months later, I was in charge of running multifamily housing units, and in the 80s, by myself, at 23 years of age, I was running about $15 million worth of contracts. I also was in charge of running those projects, which was kind of crazy. In 2002, a client of mine said, if you do not go into your own business now, you are going to kick yourself when you are 60. So I started it in 2020. In 2000, and really technically launched in 2002. February is my 20th year in my own business. It was time for me to get my own place, and here I am. So that's who I am. I love quotes. Who loves quotes? Anybody like, I love quotes. Aren't they great? I love quotes. So Samuel Goldwyn said, a verbal contract isn't worth the paper it's written on. So your client can say anything they want to you, and if they haven't agreed to it in writing, it doesn't exist. So what we're going to try to learn today is, why do we need letters of agreement? What is the value that goes into a really good letter of agreement or contract? What should be in there? Because you're protecting yourself, you're protecting your employer, you're protecting your employees, you're protecting your clients, you're actually protecting your subcontractors as well, although sometimes they will throw you under the bus. We're going to talk about that. How do you adapt the letter of agreement to your business model? I could have every single person in here who owns a business put their hand up. They're going to tell you what their business model is. Out of 40 people, we'll have 37 business models. So every one of you needs to figure out a way to adapt these things in your own language to what your business does and how you operate. And then, okay, you've got all these great clauses. Now what? How do you present those to your client? Okay, I am not a lawyer. Repeat after me. You are not a lawyer. I gave birth to a lawyer. He lives with a lawyer. I am not a lawyer. But I am a designer. I own a business. I have a living will for my business called a contract or a letter of agreement. I have signed way more than 300 contracts. Each one of the high-rise developments I did had one main contract, and then every client had a contract with it. So I'm probably into the thousands. Every letter that you are going to present, have a lawyer approve it, because every state's different. You may put something in there that you think is really helping you, and it's really detrimental. So you have to have, does everybody here have a lawyer on retainer? Does anybody here know a lawyer that would like to be on a retainer? Okay, business owners, find yourself a lawyer, preferably somebody that actually has a little bit of understanding of interior design or construction. You don't have to pay them an annual fee, but get to know them, have them review your contract. If you need a lawyer, let me know. I got 2 of them. I'm sure they'll help you out. But it's really super important in your area that you have somebody that you can call when your client is like, okay, you didn't finish that project. I'm calling my lawyer. You don't ever want to get to that point, but when that happens, like, you become a deer in the headlights, like, now what do I do? So it's really important to have a lawyer. I talk to mine maybe once every 5 years, but I have one, okay? I'm not giving you legal advice. I'm giving you sage design business advice that you then need to have transformed into real legal advice from a legal professional, right? A JD or an Esquire. So, I'm so happy to meet you. I'm so happy we're doing a contract together, right? It's gonna be great. We're gonna do your kitchen, we're gonna do your bathroom, we're gonna do your whole house, so we're gonna have such a great time, yes? Okay, that is not a letter of agreement, and that is not going to be very protective of you or your business. There was a time that you could do this. That day's gone, right? It is absolutely gone. You can't even be a handshake with a friend without getting into trouble. So what is a letter of agreement? It's a formal document. 2 or more parties. The terms of the agreement has to be in writing, right? Why? So if something comes up later on, you can resolve it based on what's in your letter of agreement. If nothing ever arises, you're golden. You may go years without having anything arise. And then all of a sudden, something rears its ugly head and you're sent into a tailspin. So, what is a letter of agreement? It's written on letterhead in plain language. Basically, what I just said to you, written down, right? Because who reads terms of acceptance or whatever it is? You get something from Apple or whatever it is, and it's in teeny tiny little font with words that are 24 letters or more in it. And you kind of scroll through and just go accept. So you really want it to be in plain language that anybody can understand. It's going to give specific information about what you're doing. We're going to get into that a little bit more. I love bullet points. Did anybody listen yesterday? Laura Muller, she loves exclamation points. I love bullet points. What just happened? Did I do something bad? No. You can buy templates. I'd rather write my own and have a lawyer go through it because I'm going to tell you how to present that contract. I read it to my clients. They sit and go through 5 pages with me. We make it fun though. Once it's signed by each party, it's going to become a binding legal document. I will tell you, not every state considers a letter of agreement a binding legal contract though. So you have to check with states and your local governments to know what's going on. Everybody keeps a copy. It protects both parties. They're not enforceable in all states. It's really easy to figure out if they are or not. Just search your state. Consult an attorney to see if it's going to be enforceable in your state. And it has to contain all the material terms of the transaction to be agreed to by both parties. What does that mean? Everything you're doing for that client, for that project, you need to write it down. Don't leave it to chance. I am going to provide. I am going to be responsible for. I am going to. You are going to pay me. You are going to, be available. All of it, even if it sounds mundane, you got to write it down, right? Because it's like text messages. How many ways can you interpret a text message? Same thing. Don't leave things to interpretation. Have an attorney review all of your agreements annually because the state and local government rules change. So there's 5 super important areas. This harkens back to when I was in elementary school. We used to do a little thing, how, when, where, and how much. So the who's involved? The what are we doing? The when's it going to happen? Where are you providing the service? And most importantly, the how much. So the who is really what I consider your general terms, your scope of work, right? It's going to really specify who's involved, everybody's contact information, who has final approvals. How many of you have dealt with one person, you think that they're the ones with the approval and they're not the one writing the check, and you get the whole thing done and you ask for the deposit and you get a really nasty email that says, what were you thinking? You gave my partner, husband, son, brother, a contract for $55,000 for a chair when I allotted $3,500. Everybody has to be involved. What rooms are you doing? How are you having meetings? Having virtual meetings? You having in-person meetings? When are you having those meetings? The description of the services, how you're communicating with one another. Email, text, all hours of the day and night. On a flyby, can you have coffee with me? Write it all down. She's over here going, I need to start that. All right? Terms and conditions. Every single one of these is in my contract, right? And I've added them. Remember, it's a living will, my contract. It is specifying each area of responsibility, yours and the client. So what do we have? Delays and acts of God. What's an act of God? The pandemic, hurricanes. I had $100,000 worth of cabinets in a warehouse that got flooded, right? I just went, what? Yes, and who is responsible for that? If you're reusing existing equipment, I specialize in kitchens and bathrooms. My clients, I have a dishwasher, I want to reuse it. We take it out, we put it back in, it doesn't work. Whoops. Cancellation conditions, somebody signs a contract and then halfway through says, I think we're going to stop. My husband lost his job. I think we're going to stop. My wife is sick, whatever it is. Anything can happen. They change their mind. Warranty issues, materials and labor. For years, I had my contract that we do not warranty the materials. I forgot to write that we don't cover labor for warranted materials. So I was fixing a lot of things and not getting paid for it. How are you delivering things? Who's receiving them? What happens with damages? How are we getting in and out of your house? Job access. Lock boxes, you give me your garage code. We do a lot where clients will put in a special garage code just for us to be able to use. We do use a lot of lock boxes though. Children left at home during the workday. You guys have heard of social media, right? All kinds of bad things can happen when kids are left alone in a house with a whole bunch of workmen, especially girls. Thank you. She said it before me. Right? Really important to be careful. Oh, wouldn't this be funny if I put this up on wherever and the guys don't know what's going on and you got some girl running around in a bathing suit in the background, who's 13 years old. Big, big, big trouble. Happened. Okay. Change orders or additional work authorizations, anything that you add to make sure that it says that it's still relates back to what your original contract was. You take down a wall. I really want that wall gone. You open up the wall and there's termite damage, there's knob and tube wiring, there is mice infestation. We actually had raccoons fall out of somebody's ceiling, right? Make sure that you are covered. Everything in my contract has happened. All right, concealed work, really important to put those things in. So next is the materials, right? How many of you sell things made of wood? How perfect is the grain on a piece of wood? It's not, right? So things like variations in grains, patterns, textures, any natural material, countertops. Oh, I didn't know that whole thing was going to look that way. I thought that was, I also don't put a countertop in unless the client goes and approves the slab beforehand. Approval of materials in writing by the client, slab selection. Material specifications, lighting, furniture, accessories, right? Is the client allowed to shop your specifications? You just spent 18 hours picking stuff out for your client. You present it all to them, and they come back to you and say, I found the lights for $20 less. And they go out and buy them. And then they call, is that a yes? Is that a hallelujah? No. How do I deal with that? Anything that I specify, anything purchased, anything specified by time and place design will be purchased through time and place design. If you do not choose to purchase it through time and place design will be billing you for whatever the amount of money is, whatever my procurement fee is, regardless of whether you buy it from me or not. Because I spent all the time putting it together for you, and you saved $20 to go buy it someplace else, and then you call me when it's got a scratch on it. Very plainly stated. Yeah, because I charge $250 an hour. So if I sourced 4 lamps for you and it took me an hour, that's $250. So you better darn well believe I'm going to charge you for it. But I'm upfront with my clients. If you want to go and buy things, knock yourself out. If I spec it for you, you need to buy it from me. And that's an understanding that goes in long before we start. That's part of my design. That's part of my design interaction with my clients. Yes. No, but I know what my time is worth. So if she's buying a lamp that I specified and wants to go someplace else, then that lamp's $100. Then you owe me 30% of $100. Yes. Are you in business or is this your hobby? You need to be tougher. This is not your hobby. I have clients who are lawyers. I told you I gave birth to a lawyer. He pushed on my internal organs for 9 months. I was like, so I knew he was going to be a lawyer. I have had lawyers take a red pen to my contract and cross lines out and then hand it to me. I said, that's great. Thank you. Bye. Yeah. This is my business. I am, can you tell I'm a little controlling? But I've also learned through the years because I've had people totally take advantage of me. And as soon as that happens, what happens to your client designer relationship? I just published a blog, The Designer Client Relationship. You should read it. Yes, who else had a question? I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Say, oh, can I get up? Is that okay? Okay, say it again, please. The client found it from a different vendor? Are you getting paid are you getting paid to source, are you getting paid per square footage to source materials? Okay. What does it say in your contract? Compensation for shopping your specifications. I get paid if you shop my specifications and buy them someplace else because I did the work. It's not my hobby. I love you, my client. I couldn't be where I am without you. However, there has to be a mutual respect for what we're each doing. I'm respecting your money by finding you products and offering them to you at a reasonable price. I have I have to realize, I have a lot of, I've been doing this a long time, so I have a lot of direct accounts. So I'm buying things at ridiculous prices. So even if I'm supplying something 30% over my cost, they're still getting a 20 to 25% discount. But you have to decide. I mean, if you don't care, if you just want to put the specs together, you've gotten paid for the whole job and you want to let your client shop everything, you can do that. But then as soon as they buy it, I'm not receiving the delivery. I had a client, I almost $100,000 in fittings and fixtures because I'm going to buy it myself. I'm like, okay, so you're going to accept the deliveries. You're going to open every box. You're going to make sure everything's in the box. You're going to make sure that it's not damaged. It's going to come on a pallet, so you have to make sure that you can break down the pallet while you're there. I can't really tell you what time it's going to arrive because they don't really tell me. The truck just shows up. And I mean, he owns a huge accounting firm in Manhattan. He went, all right, so you're going to be placing that order, right? It's happened to me. I had to learn. I learned the hard way. I really did. I gave a lot of what I do away. I gave a lot of my knowledge away. I gave away my head, this poor thing, has a lot in it. And that's why people hire me. They're hiring you for your expertise. So don't let them take advantage of that. If you want to just get paid for the job, they can buy it from a different vendor. Go right ahead. You're not responsible for warranty issues on products that you're not supplying. But get ready if you are supplying, because you're going to be online with Brizo for 2.5 hours to get a new screw that didn't show up with your faucet. Approval of construction drawings, plans, elevations, and I love Brizo. They're my go-to manufacturer. They have the best customer service in the world. Plug for Brizo. They have the best customer service in the world, but that pop-up rod didn't show up. You're going to be on the phone with Brizo's customer service. Approval of specification sheets and anything that has a dollar amount to it needs to be written. Would you like to sit down, either of you sweet, lovely ladies? There's seats here. Come on up. It's so nice up here in front. You can take pictures, sweetheart. Also, on my website, here's another little plug for me. There is more of this information on my website. You can find, I wrote a whole ebook about it. So if you want, you can, and it's not very expensive. So some of the things that are in my contract, and it may be dictated, again, by state laws. So timeline, how long is the project going to take? We in New Jersey must put that in our contract. It's going to take approximately, and we will, to the best of our ability, endeavor to complete based on a variety of circumstances that may or may not happen during the process of the project. Complete your project within whatever. How the design process works and when presentations are going to be made. I actually have breakdowns, each thing, depending on whether I'm doing a whole project, then I'm being paid design only, or if I'm just doing specifications, or if I'm actually handling all the work. When is the project going to start? I don't know. We're planning to have it start on February 23rd of 2023, and then something happens. So to the best of our ability. That's why you need a lawyer. You need that plain language legalese. Don't let them write stuff that you can't say, because when you're trying to go through it with your client, you're stumbling over your words, and they're like, who wrote this for you? You need to be able to defend what's in your contract, which is why plain language is super important, because I'm not that smart. When the project will be substantially completed, I usually say, what are my opening words? Repeat after me, to the best of my ability. We will complete punch list items within 3 months of completion of the major part of our project. So when you had a damaged door and you have to get a new door and it's going to take you 18 months to get it, to the best of our abilities. Because your final payment's riding on that. Yes? I think I am. So just point back at the screen and say, remember what I asked you? Yes. And when will the project be completed? I have to put this in my contract in New Jersey. Absolutely required, yes. To the best of my ability. I don't sell construction. I recommend contractors. I don't sell the construction. And I don't get paid for the construction either. I'm going to say that up front with you guys. I don't take a penny on that because, man, when that goes sideways, you can be down a $1 million road in a heartbeat. Yes? Yep. We're going to come to that. Okay, so the where. These items may differ if you're providing design only versus remodeling services, okay? Where will the products be stored during the project? How many of you have curbside delivery? You got to get it from the curbside to somebody's house, and once they're there, where are you putting it? We planned on starting today. We're not starting for 6 months. I have, 85 pieces of furniture and cabinetry. Where can we put them? So once it gets to the job, there has to be a spot that you can put them. I keep them in my warehouse. I have storage fees written into my contract. Where are they going to be during the remodel? Okay, you're remodeling a kitchen. You just had everything delivered into the kitchen. You can't do that, right? So you need to have a designated space. Here's another thing, climate controlled. Once my cabinets are delivered to your project, once my furniture is delivered to your project, it must be stored in a climate controlled environment, which means not the basement, not the front porch, not the back porch, not the side yard, not your garage. Unless I do have clients that have really nice garages. So we have put things in there. But that's important. Where are we going to put a dumpster? Yes, babe? Absolutely. Absolutely. And some people may say, how much is that? And depending on my receiver, I don't know. One receiver at 70 cents a day after 3 weeks per cabinet or per piece. Yeah. You don't know what they are. Yeah. Yeah. Storage fee. I just say if required, additional storage fees may be applicable based on the amount of product and how long the storage will be. Yes. Yeah. I don't make money on delivery charges either. Sorry, it's nice to give people back something. But, if it's $100 to deliver something, am I really going to mark that up? No. I just pass that on to my clients. So that's kind of like a little perk I can give them. Will where the dumpster be placed? You got to know that, especially if you're doing a remodel. And sometimes I do things like that if we're painting. Again, I don't handle the construction, but we've had people have put a dumpster and back over a specimen tree that was like $5,000. So you need to know in advance, or make sure that wherever the dumpster is, it's not sinking into their brandly new redone driveway. Where will precautions be taken to control dust, asbestos, and worksite protection? Clients say to me, oh, is it going to be messy? Like, yep. Are things going to get dirty? Yep. Is that going to affect the rest of the house? Yep. Take every single thing that's hung on the wall in an adjacent room down. Take pictures, put them away. Accessories. It's like to carry, a micro lamb into somebody's house and you're trying to navigate your way through. Rugs, move them. We cover everything. We plastic everything off. We're really good. We put in temporary doors. Oh boy. It's not a hobby, and we're not a charitable organization. Compensation. I have one whole page in my contract that talks about compensation. Payment terms for the project and possible penalties. If you don't pay me, I don't have to deliver your project. If you don't pay me, I don't have to start work in your home. If you don't pay me, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to charge you interest in the amount of blah, 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 blah. You have to state it, because if it's not there and they're not agreeing to it, you have no legal standing. What are you being paid for? Flat fee for a job. Remodeling somebody's house. What does that include? Are you watching the subcontractors while they're there? Yes, I get paid $250 an hour for project over, no, what do I call observation? It's not supervision because if something goes wrong, then you're in trouble. But if you're observing, I'm watching them. I'm not telling them what to do, but I am watching them, right? That's why you need to have a lawyer really look at this. But yeah, if I have to go sit on a spackle bucket for 3 hours, what am I going to get done, watching somebody's contractor that I don't know, make sure that they're putting my project in properly? How are you being paid? Flat fee, hourly rate. Are you getting paid on materials? What's the percentage? And I do not say that I am marking anything up. Clients hate to hear you say I'm marking things up. There is a service fee that will be added to the products that we procure for you. Yeah, I'm marking it up. But because I am not a charitable organization, I do a lot for charity. My job, my business is not a charity. It could be if somebody wants to give me a lot of money. Final contract totals, what are they based on? Terms and conditions for delivery charges, we touched on that. What type of payments do you accept? Who takes credit cards? Yeah, I don't. If you have enough money to work with me, you have somebody managing your funds and they're going to send me a check. And if you have to watch this now because this changed in states. If you are working out of state, you have to find out. Some states will not allow you to recover the merchant fees. So know where you are working. Now you may, it's only 3%. Well, 3% on $100, okay. 3% on $250,000, that's a lot of money. So you have to know, and you have to figure that into your price if you cannot charge separately for it. Really important. And that's what happens when you work in multiple places, right? If I deliver something to New York City, they want to get paid. They're awful, right? So you have to really, really take care. Yes? Okay, so if you are, so your clients say if you're getting paid by the hour or if you are getting paid on a flat fee and you're now charging merchant fees, tell me what restaurant you can go into and on the bottom of the ticket it says we are adding a 3% service charge because I'm not here to make PayPal wealthy. Now you can say it in a nicer way, obviously, right? So when people say, why are you charging me the merchant fee? I said, because it's really something that is affecting my 30% that I'm entitled to for the 25 hours that I'm gonna spend looking for your product, ordering it, checking the acknowledgement, checking the confirmation, accepting the delivery, checking the product once it's delivered, unpacking the product, getting rid of all the packing material that comes with it, right? I got styrofoam sometimes I can't get out of my hair for days, okay? Are you getting paid for the products that you supply? If you're not going to get paid for the does anyone know who Melissa Galt is? I'm giving Melissa a big plug here. I have a friend of mine who's been in business for 40 years. She's like, I don't know how to charge that way. I rewrote her contract. She figured out that if she had charged hourly for this contract, she would have been making $8 an hour. We rewrote it based on Melissa's premises of how you charge. She just collected a $95,000 retainer and she got a $35,000 deposit on her first part of it, all right? You have to get paid. So if you don't want to get paid on product, that's fine. But what does it say in your contract? Not for me. If I'm shopping for products for you, I'm going to be paid for the product. Okay, here's my suggestion to you. Stop charging by the hour because you can never make enough money charging by the hour to cover everything that you do. It's how can you quantify how much time it takes you to look for a light or 3 or 7 that you then have to present to a client and have them choose and then change their mind and then you have to look for more? No. Unless I'm doing project observation and it's $250 an hour for me to sit on the spackle bucket. Yeah. Yeah, I don't charge by the hour. I tried to figure it out. I know how long it takes me to do something, so I can qualify what I'm charging. Okay, for me to design a kitchen for you, it's going to be a minimum of 40 hours. I'm $200 an hour, $250 an hour, $100 an hour. I've been doing it forever. I know how long it's going to take. So I can say to somebody that's based on that figure, I charge a minimum of 1,000 square feet. It's going to take this much time. It averages out to this much. And, people are happy then. There's a finite number. If you're charging by the hour, they have no idea how many. I mean, this is really not what our discussion's about. I apologize. You have no idea how many hours it's going to take you to do something. So go listen to Melissa Galt. She's amazing. Okay. Cancellation fees and terms. If someone cancels, what now? I had somebody cancel a contract. They said, I want all my money back. I said, I've already lost my deposit. And I have 83 hours of time at $250 an hour. Figured out to this, I will return this much of your money. I deserve to get paid. He's a lawyer. He started to argue with me. I said, can we go through the contract again? Because he what? Signed it. So miscellaneous, right? Business and state law specific. Consent for the designer to take before and completed project photographs within a reasonable time of the project and where said photos will be used. Says in my contract that you will allow me to take project photos, progress photos, before photos, and you allow me to photograph the final product, and I will be able to use it in editorials, I will be able to use it in my blogs, I will be able to use it in magazines, I will be able to use it in video, I will be able to use it in ads. Did I say ads? All of those things. And most of my clients are really excited because it becomes a game. Oh, like my girlfriend's mother, you're in Sharon's magazine article again. She calls my client up all the time. I left the magazine at the house for you to see. Take a look at it. Yes. Go ahead. I just tell them how unfortunate it's going to be that nobody will be able to see their beautiful project because we do not disclose the location, the client name, or anything else that goes with it. That's also in my contract. Yeah. And I've worked for some famous people, so they like seeing their stuff. Who doesn't want to see their home in a magazine? Come on. And I'm lucky I get published a lot. And my clients they think it's kind of cool, Like I said, my girlfriend's mother, oh my God, you're in Sharon's magazine. It's not my magazine, but that's what she calls it. So terms and conditions if you need an architect or an engineer, right? Who's paying for that? How are they getting paid, right? If I need to bring outside services, that will be at the expense of the client and will be contracted direct. So if did somebody ask how I deal with, no, it was another talk about how I deal with contractors. It is in my contract that, and I tell them I do not receive compensation. I just put that right up there. I don't get paid for this. It makes the job run smoother, makes everybody happy. If you suddenly decide you want my contractor to build a doghouse in your backyard, I don't need to know about it. Got two, yes. I do all my own lighting design. I do all my own integrating design. But if I bring an integrator in, or if I'm going to bring a landscape lighting designer in, yeah, that goes direct through my client. I don't need to get involved. I don't really have time. I'll tell them how I think it should look. But you know what? They're there to make money too. So, I'm sorry? MEP? They're part of my contractor. Well, I do my own drawings. Oh, did I say that? I do my own drawings. Engineering drawings, if you need a structural engineer or an architect, it is in my contract that those people will come in under my supervision. So I'm not looking for an architect to redesign the addition that I just designed, which means when you find the lawyer, see if he has a brother who's an architect or something, that you can work together. Because I have an architect I have to trust, because I have had architects that have been really bad and I've redesigned stuff and they didn't do what I asked. I love architects. Some of them do things that you're just like, what? We're not building, a skyscraper. We're building a 3-foot addition on the back of the house. Somebody else had yes. Did I answer your question? Okay. Yes. Nope. Yep. I draw it on the sheetrock wall while I'm there. Like, we're going to design a molding ceramic. I've been working with my contractor 18 years. Like, we've kind of got it. We're getting divorced in about 2 years because he's retiring. And I think I'm going to stop doing construction. But you need somebody you can trust. I always have a molding book with me. I know where he buys his building supplies. I don't get paid for that. My clients pay me a lot of money. And I don't want to. That's why I don't have problems, charging them for materials, because they know how much time. We are a concierge level process. We do one project at a time. I don't have 16 construction jobs running. We start one. We are with you all day long, every day. I had a client just call. She said, "I really miss you guys. I need a new light bulb. Can you help me find one?" And I'm like, okay. So, but they miss us, they miss us. My client, her cabinets were delivered. She goes, "It's so beautiful. When are you coming down? I want to have coffee." So, we're very involved with our project on a much deeper level than just speccing things and dropping it off at your house. So I'm a pretty luxury level business. And that's what my clients are expecting. Somebody else have a question? And if I don't answer your question, ask me again and I'll try to find another answer. Yeah, it's tough. So the question is that she's had contractors that they've worked with, and now all the contractors have gone crazy because they're all having nervous breakdowns, to be honest with you. In my group, we're all old. And we've been doing this almost 20 years, right? My plumber's like, "My back's shot. I can't be crawling underneath somebody's house anymore." It is difficult because that was one of the big catches for me. It was always, will you have your own construction team? No, I have a contractor that I partner with. Start going to your local building association meetings and find some contractors. Call the town that you work in, the building department. Do you have some really good contractors you can recommend for me? Who's really good GC? I wrote a great blog about world's greatest contractor and how to find them. I have a lot of stuff on my website. If you go read my blog, she'd be there all day long. Wire drawings can or cannot be used for architectural engineering purposes, depending on the state. In New Jersey, I cannot seal, even though I probably got more education than the architects. I cannot seal drawings in New Jersey. Other states you can. So that's why, who asked about the engineer? There you go. That's why I have to bring them in. That's why we have to bring them in, because we can't sign plans. We can't seal plans. So you have to bring somebody in for a header. I can spec a header in about 20 seconds, but the state of New Jersey doesn't care. The architects are protecting their territory. Doesn't matter. Nope. Can't seal plans. Why you need a lawyer who knows the state and local laws. Yes. I can't put a new window in without having an architect spec the header. So I draw the header, I put in where it's going, God bless you, and then the architect. Yeah. Yeah. And to be honest with you, most of my plans are signed by the homeowner, because in New Jersey, homeowners can sign for permit applications. State, and who asked why there's state and local laws up there? Somebody asked that question. That's why, because we have 50 states that all do things different, and that's why it's really hard, and you're working in multiple states if you're doing construction. If you're doing virtual design, it's a little different. All right, where am I? We did construction supervision already. Expectation of the treatment of your employees and subcontractors, physical, verbal, emotional. I have fired clients for the way they have treated my staff. I did it in a nice way. We're just really not the group for you. I don't think we're going to be able to provide the type of service that you're looking for. And I'll recommend other designers. And if it's a client I can't take, I recommend other designers. Make friends with designers that are not in your backyard, but are in a reasonable area that you can go to recommend other people to. I will not have anybody mistreat any of the people that work on my jobs. Because Okay, anyone going to KBIS? I'm doing a great talk at KBIS about personalities and managing difficult clients. Sign up, it's gonna be a really good talk, and everybody has a different level of pain tolerance. And, oh, I don't know. If you it's a Voices of the Industry in KBIS 2023. So I mean, you can go through and probably see where this. It's in Vegas, so if anyone wants to go and have some fun, join me. Um, it depends. You know, somebody that I think is a difficult client, someone else is going to go, man, bring them on. I don't have that energy anymore. I'm old. Yes. You had a question? Did somebody back here have a question? Same question. Okay. Where are we? So yeah, you need to make sure that people understand we all must be respectful of everybody who is on the project. Conversely, all my subcontractors, I have a play nice in the sandbox contract with every one of them. Everybody signs it. What you're wearing on the job, playing music. I had a CEO of a major company who had to move home to work. And we were working, and the sheetrockers came in, and they were blaring some music. And I had just finished the office downstairs, and he came flying up the steps, and he's like, I understand you like your music. Could you just do it a slightly lower volume? But they've got to be respectful as well, right? What's the rule of law in your state regarding the use of renderings as a construction drawing? Don't ever use a rendering as a construction drawing, please. A rendering is considered an artistic interpretation in my state. It's in every one of my contracts. If you want a 3D presentation of what your project will look like, then I will supply them. However, they are not exact representations of what will be in your space. It is an artist's interpretation. And be careful if you're using them, because they may not be enforceable as a construction document. So if your client signs off on that thinking that's exactly what it's going to be, and that molding shape is a little bit different than what you're actually delivering, they're like, I didn't know the molding was going to look like that. I had one say to me, is that the color blue that we ordered for the cabinets? I'm like, no. And he's a lawyer. I said, what does the contract say? He said, it's an artistic interpretation of what the project is going to look like. You better darn well toot and believe it. It is in my the legend on my plans that I print everything on. It also says that I'm not responsible for a lot of things on there too. Check state and local laws regarding licensing, insurance, construction liens, and permitting requirements. Not everybody requires you to be a licensed plumber, electrician, builder, whatever. In New Jersey, you have to be. But if anything happens insurance-wise, you need to know what your insurance says. If you have unlicensed contractors working on your project, the electrician, somebody does something wrong, the house catches on fire, toilet floods. We had that not long ago, 3 feet of water in somebody's house. What is the story there? Out-of-state compliance for live as well as virtual design agreements. So you really have to look and see what the story is. And now that there's so much virtual design going on and e-commerce and everything like that, you have to look at the states you're doing business in. To be honest with you, I have limited what states I do business in. Anybody who's not design friendly, I can't work for you. Hopefully you have a house in another state where I can. Job completion documentation. Do not let your clients punch list their own jobs, please. Don't, because they're going to start punch listing things and handing it to the guys that are installing. I've had clients ask for all the doors to be adjusted, and we're like, the doors aren't even back on the cabinets yet, So punch list your own projects and let people know that you'll be happy to go through that punch list item with them. Do not walk the job with them, because they're going to see things you don't want them to see. So you can provide the punch list and say, hey, here's what I found. This is what we're going to be taking care of. And that will be done within 3 months of the time we complete. You know what I mean. Ownership of rights to design and photography is my design. It is my photography. You may not publish it and tell everybody what a great designer you are. Just had somebody do that. She called me. She said, we should go into business together. My house looks amazing. Everybody keeps telling me what a great job I did. I'm segueing into another aspect of the design business, so I'm not really going to be doing any more design. You have to be able to think on your feet when things like that happen. And but I said, I'm so glad that your clients like the projects that we've completed together. Yes. Employee handbook. Do y'all have employee handbooks for your employees? What are you guys doing? They don't teach you this in design school, do they? This is the school of hard knocks. This is I have employee handbooks. And even for an intern, it's not a big document, but it describes what their jobs are, it describes what they can and can't do. It describes on how projects will be presented, on social media, in print, in digital. This is the hours they're working. This is what they're supposed to do. This is where they use the bathroom. This is whatever. You have to have that. Oh, should I be putting a presentation together about that? I got a lot to do. Okay, so don't allow pets into the remodeling area. No, we do not babysit your pet. I'm running out. Can you just let the dog out, in a couple of hours and then make sure he comes back in? No, we're not. My husband's mom is staying with us, and her memory's going just a little bit. Can you just make sure? No. I lost a cat in a wall for 3 days. Old house in Ridgewood, New Jersey. Great clients. They're still clients of mine. We were remodeling, and I said, whatever you do, don't let the cat in there. So for whatever reason, they opened the door. There was a hole in the wall. The cat got into the wall, and for 3 days, we were calling, come on. Finally, the cat came back, but I was like, thank God, because we couldn't close any of the walls until the cat came back. And it's a McMansion, an old, built in the late 1800s. That's just one. Read your contract. I've had dogs chew turnings on islands, and I'm like, what's going on here? Or eat. I had one client, she was really sweet. I love the dog, and the dog's actually on one of my portfolios. The dog started eating wire caps, as would follow the electrician around and eat the plastic wire caps. She had taken to the vet, and she goes, I know, it's my fault. Read your contract line by line with your client and have them sign 2 copies with you. Do not take a photo version copy of your signed contract. Have an original signature. If some states you can have contracts approved by email, some you cannot. Know what's going on in your state. Keep a copy of the email. Don't let people approve things via text. Each state has their own set of rules regarding buyer remorse, which should be stated in the contract. In New Jersey, we have a 3-day right of refusal for a full refund. Oh, what happened? Some states require an escrow account for all monies collected. I think California. Anybody from West Coast? I think California does California require an escrow? Oh, you have a whole nother set of rules up there. Your LOA is a living document. Don't be afraid to update it, and always consult an attorney when creating, modifying, or updating any legal document. These are lessons I've learned. 40 years of lessons. Yeah. I have them DocuSign it. You have to have them sign everything. DocuSign in New Jersey is legal. I don't know about your other states. I DocuSign everything. Absolutely. No. Is House going to watch your back when something goes wrong? Stop using House now. Just kidding. Thank you.